Hello, YouTubers. Thomas Townley here. This is not going to be a long introduction. We're going to be recording episode 5, Multiverse, tonight. And if you hear any sounds from, outside, they are currently working on our gas line here. They're going to be moving our gas meter close to the house, so that if a car jumps the curb, it doesn't strike the gas meter and, blow up, the house. So, given that, not gonna be, this will be a long recording. This will probably be an hour. So sit back, relax, uh, grab some Cheetos and dig in. We'll start in just a second. Tonight, we look at some of the geek clip. Fuck. Alright, hold. Tonight, we look at some of the cool geek news that came out of San Diego Comicon. Plus, Disney and Fox shareholders vote, and we check in with the heads of DC Comics in this jam-packed episode of Multiverse Tonight. There are many universes out there. Welcome to the one with news about all the others. This is Multiverse Tonight. Now, here's your host, Thomas Townley. I'd like to thank you for listening to this edition of Multiverse Tonight. One way to support the show is to listen with Radio Public. Every episode of Multiverse Tonight that is heard through the Radio Public app for iPhone and Android means that we make money so this show can grow. There's a link to our show in the episode notes. Give it a try today. Hello and welcome to this special episode 5 of Multiverse Tonight. Here we look at all your geeky universes. I'm your host, Thomas Townley, rolling along to this long episode. I'm just going to say at the outset here that this episode will go on for at least an hour, so I won't pad the opening here. I would like to announce that we do now have a Twitch channel, because we have to have all of the social media bases covered. Right now, I'm mostly using it to stream Star Trek Online on the weekends. And we got a few dollars from Prime Day on our Amazon affiliate link. If you'd like to help me out, go to our website, multiversetonight.com, and click on the link on the side of the front page. We also have a link for mycomicshop.com, and I plan on having more associate links soon. I would also like to give a shout out to Anne, who is my first contributor on my Ko-fi donation page. Thanks for the donation. I hope my other listeners also contribute. Just find us on Ko-fi or Patreon. You can also find those links on our website. Thank you, and let's get on with the news. Let's start with the entertainment side that the DC Universe showcased. We've got to see a lot of trailers from Aquaman, Shazam, Titans, the WB/DC shows, Preacher, and more. But let's start out with what we saw from the Aquaman trailer. A very cool trailer, again, very visually interesting. So, Arthur Curry, son of Lighthouse Keeper and Merwoman Queen Mother, picked on as a kid, grows up to challenge Orm from the throne of Atlantis. But it will also feature Aquaman in a comics-accurate costume at some point. That might actually be worth money to see. Wonder Woman, 1984 was talked about, but only a work-in-progress footage was shown to the audience in attendance. We did learn that Gal Gadot doesn't consider the film a sequel. Okay, then what in Hades is it? The films of the DCU now have an official title. You and I and everyone else has been calling them the DC Extended Universe, or DCEU. Well, DC wants us to call them the Worlds of DC instead. This is what DC Films' slate was called at the start of the Comic-Con 2018 panel. And while it may at first seem unwieldy, I guess it does make some sense, since DC is going on the multiverse route, instead of having one singular filmed universe like Marvel. But the biggest thing to drop from DC Films at the show was the trailer for Shazam, the Gomer Pyle story. No, wait. Okay, just Shazam, the movie, which comes out next April. It looks pretty good. Not a lot of action in this first trailer, focused mainly on the humor, which might be a good thing for the company since the grim and gritty films of the DCE worlds of DC are very dark. I'm actually looking forward to this movie. My only complaint was that they don't call him Captain Marvel, but that's just minor. Hopefully we'll still refer to him as the Big Red Cheese. We also got some more info on the DC subscription service. They showed off a trailer for Titans. Only thing I can say for it was, not for me. Too grim, too dark. It might appeal to someone. DC has also confirmed that there will be an annual subscription to the service that'll cost, wait for it, $74.99, with a month-to-month subscription available for $7.99. The annual subscription is available to pre-order right now from DCUniverse.com, and you'll get a bonus of 3 free months for doing so. So the question is, do you have the money for another streaming service? Or will you just watch the show you want to watch and then shut it off until next year like, CBS All Access? We also got word that DC Universe will also be the home of a new live-action Stargirl series. The new show, based on the high-flying adventures of young hero Courtney Whitmore, will feature her following in the shoes of her new stepfather, a former member of the JSA, after moving to a small town in Nebraska. It will also be produced by Greg Berlanti, the man behind much of the Arrowverse, and Jeff Johns, the creator of Stargirl, and DC Comics' recently departed CCO. Johns being involved in the project is pretty big, as Stargirl was one of his babies. I hope this means we'll also get to see Stripe as well. Come on, you can't have stars without Stripe. So, let's do a quick speed round for the TV shows. Supergirl. 2 months after reports emerged that Supergirl was casting a transgender character to appear in Season 4, today's Comic-Con International panel at San Diego introduced fans to Nia Nal, a transgender superhero known as Dreamer, who will be played by Nicole Maines. Agent Liberty will be the new big bad in Season 4. Supergirl's version of Agent Liberty is described as, quote, the ruthless and terrifying leader of the Children of Liberty, unquote, a human first hate group. The character is described as a brilliant orator in the guise of a family man, who can easily convince people that he's right. Linda Carter is also set to return this season as President Marsden. Now on to Arrow. Episode 702's title will be a pretty familiar one to longtime Green Arrow comic readers, the Longbow Hunters. Stephen Amell revealed that Oliver does something bad in the season premiere. Quote, one scene in the premiere, what Oliver does is reprehensible, Amell revealed. There's nothing about him that is heroic at all in the episode, unquote. So I guess he does F Batman too? Flash. The Flash star Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost, on the CW's DC Comics adaptation, recently announced that she'll be making her directorial debut with an episode of the show's 5th season. She'll direct episode 18 of the season. Alright, this one is not exactly Flash related, but close enough. Kevin Smith revealed that the Flash stars Grant Gustin, who plays Barry Allen, the Flash, Tom Cavanaugh, Harrison Wells, and Carlos Valdez, who plays Carlos Ramon / Vibe, will be appearing in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It's unclear what the role the trio of actors will play in the film, which reportedly begins filming this November. The Flash showrunners also revealed a younger version of the Rogues and a Gorilla Grodd King Shark team-up. Also, at some point, the Flash will get his famous Flash ring, which, in the comic books, holds his costume. Flash's 100th episode will be directed by series star Tom Cavanaugh, but the milestone episode will also be the mid-season finale, which will be episode 8. It was also revealed that Chris Klein, who's been in American Pie, Election, and Oz, has been cast as the DC Comics supervillain David Hirsch/Cicada. The character is described as, quote, a grizzled blue-collar everyman whose family was torn apart by metahumans. Cicada now seeks to exterminate the epidemic, one metahuman at a time, unquote. Kinda sounds inefficient. The teaser for the Arrowverse also teased the arrival of a brand new hero, Kate Kane/Batwoman. Though the role is not currently cast, the teaser did a pretty good job of setting the tone for Batwoman's arrival. Through some comic panels and the many existing Arrowverse references to Gotham and other members of the Bat family. She is expected to be the focus of this year's Arrowverse crossover event, although our next show will not be a part of it. Legends of Tomorrow. It has been confirmed that Rip Hunter will not be back for Season 4. The show EP also revealed that Booster Gold will also not be in Season 4, but Bebo will return. Legends of Tomorrow has cast Ramona Young in its upcoming 4th season. Young will be playing Alaska Yu, a character who does not have a clear DC Comics counterpart. Tom Wilson, the comedian and actor best known for playing Biff Tannen and his ancestors and descendants in the Back to the Future trilogy, has been cast as Nate Haywood's father on the show. Wilson will recur as Nate's father, Hank Haywood. With a lifetime in the military and Department of Defense, Hank is part of a long line of Haywoods to serve the country. Charming and charismatic, he's left big shoes for Nate to fill, and it doesn't help that Nate can't tell him he's secretly a legend. Now let's cover Krypton. Season 2 will start with a bit of a time jump, starting about 5 months after the season finale. Also, Lobo, the intergalactic space bounty hunter, will be the big bad for Season 2. Friggin' fantastic. It was also revealed that the Kryptonian superheroes Nightwing and Flamebird will play some sort of role within Season 2. In the comics, Nightwing and Flamebird are a duo of Kryptonian gods who reincarnate through history and are destined to find each other and be betrayed by a friend in each lifetime. They might be best known for the legend Superman tells young Dick Grayson of Kryptonian gods by those names, inspiring him to adopt the Nightwing name for himself when he abandons the Robin identity. Now, let's cover some of what Marvel has brought to the table. Alright, there was no Hall H panel for Marvel at SDCC. They like to have their own announcements for D23, plus the cinematic universe is on pause until Captain Marvel. But the biggest news to drop during Comic-Con weekend was the firing of James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, over a series of tweets dating back to between 2008 and 2012. These came forward after being dug up by right-winger Mike Cernovich, who rose to fame trumpeting Pizzagate conspiracy theories and has set his focus on journalists and other members of the, quote, liberal media. The Hollywood Reporter reported that the firing came after conservative political commentators, most prominently Cernovich, dug up some old tweets that joked about pedophilia and child rape. In a statement emailed to CNET.com, Disney chairman Alex Horn wrote, quote, "The offensive attitudes and statements discovered on James's Twitter are indefensible and inconsistent with our studio's values, and we have severed our business relationship with him," unquote. In the days following the firing, several people have come to his aid, most notably Dave Bautista, who stars as Drax in Gunn's Guardians movies. On Twitter, he said, quote, "I will have more to say, but for right now, all I will say is this. James Gunn is one of the most loving, caring, good-natured people I've ever met. He's gentle and kind and cares deeply for people and animals. He's made mistakes. We all have. I'm not okay with what's happening to him, unquote. Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt, and Karen Gillian also sent tweets of support. Gunn apologized via Twitter for the past hurtful statements before deleting his Twitter account. And in a statement sent to ABC News, Gunn wrote, quote, I understand and accept the business decisions taken today. I take full responsibility for the way I conducted myself then. All I can do now, beyond offering my sincere and heartfelt regret, is to be the best human being I can be, unquote. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was supposed to start shooting next year and was scheduled for release in 2020. But it's possible Gunn's departure may impact that. Now, in the days since news dropped, an online petition has been launched asking Disney to reconsider. It currently has over 28,000 signatures and rising, and the Toxic Avenger director, Lloyd Kaufman, has called for fans to picket Disney over James Gunn's firing. In a show of solidarity, actor Bobcat Goldthwait has asked for his voiceover to be removed from the Disney theme park use. Disney was in Hercules, and his voice is part of a new attraction called World of Color, Villainous. Now, Roseanne Barr, who herself was fired for something she said on Twitter, went on Twitter again late last Monday night to blast the support James Gunn has received after being dropped by Disney. Quote, I am disgusted to read all the support for James Gunn's pedophile jokes, as the same people support blacklisting me for a joke they didn't even understand, she said. We've also had Ryan Johnson deleting tweets and Michael Rooker delete his Twitter. So this event is currently unfolding. And just today, an open letter has been sent to Disney by the actors of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie asking that James Gunn be reinstated. You know, we'll keep following this. I have my own opinion, but I'm not going to put it here in the middle of the show. So here's what I'm going to do. After the end jingle, I'm going to put my opinion of the whole deal. If you don't want to hear what I have to say, you don't have to. Just end the podcast, walk away until the next episode. Gotcha? Good. Now, I will say this, though. Warner Brothers, if you're listening, I'd grab Gunn up right now while the getting is good. This would be your opportunity to get A-list talent for, I don't know, Plastic Man. Or The New Gods, maybe. Come on. Strike while the iron is hot. Now, let's look at some Star Trek news that came out of the con. I'd like to thank you for listening to this edition of Multiverse Tonight. You know, one way to support the show is to listen with Radio Public. Every episode of Multiverse Tonight that is heard through the Radio Public app for iPhone and Android means that we make money so this show can grow. There's a link to our show in the episode notes. Give it a try today. We've learned that Captain Pike will be taking on the Discovery on, get it, a search for Spock. I can't make this up. Spock has disappeared investigating some strange phenomena, and Pike commandeers the ship so he can use a spore drive to figure it all out. We've also got confirmation from Alex Kurtzman that we will see Spock this season. No word on who has been cast in the role. And on top of that, Rebecca Romijn, recently of the now canceled The Librarian series, has been cast as Pike's first officer, number 1. We have also found out that before Season 2 debuts next year, we'll get 4 shorts called Short Treks that last between 10 and 15 minutes that will spotlight different crew members. The characters featured include Sylvia Tilly, Mary Wiseman, Saru, played by Doug Jones, Harry Mudd, played by Rainn Wilson, and a new character named Kraft, played by Aldous Hodge. Wilson will also direct the episode about Harry Mudd. Nice try, CBS, but I'm still not giving you my money until the last few episodes of the show are up and I only have to pay once to watch the entire season. We also have confirmation that Wilson Cruz will be back as Dr. Culber. How the now dead character will be back has not been released. Will it be Dream Sequence? Maybe Mirror Universe Culber? He just springs up out of the mushrooms? I guess we'll have to wait and see. We also have been promised some connections to how Discovery fits into Star Trek canon. Alex Kurtzman said, quote, "You will get those answers next season, guaranteed. You're not going to get them the way you expect them." Fine, okay. If you want to make it fit in the canon for me, you can just erase season 1 and start over fresh. And please, explain those Klingons, will you? It's ridiculous that they go from bumpy head to smooth head, the bumpy head, the smooth, the bumpy. You're writers, explain this. Don't just give me the "that's how they are and that's how we're going to do them" excuse. Anyway, let's have another quick lightning round of miscellaneous news. Now, Green Lantern will be relaunched by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp, and they promise no apocalypse-ending storylines. Star Wars: The Clone Wars will return for a new season to be on Disney's upcoming new streaming service. We also got a look at Fantastic Beasts: The Crime of Grindelwald. The trailer looks awesome. Go to our site, multiversetonight.com, and look at the trailer. It is awesome. I got chills. We also got confirmation that Andrew Lincoln's last season of The Walking Dead will be season 9. We got footage from Sony for the Venom solo movie, showing off the symbiote size as well as his dark wit. And speaking of Venom, Venom comic writer Donny Cates is spearheading a relaunch of the Marvel Knights imprint with a one-shot called MK20 number 1. Marvel is also going to be bringing back the Uncanny X-Men, which will fill the void left by the end of X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue this September. We also got a look at the upcoming Season 7 of the Venture Brothers, as well as word from the creators that Season 8 will come a little quicker than Season 7. Clark Gregg will direct the Season 6 premiere of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and congratulations to writer, actor, director, and fellow podcaster Kevin Smith, who was awarded an Inkpot Award for his contributions to pop culture. Now, that's all from Comic-Con International. Now, here's the news that followed the con. And we're going to start back with some Star Trek news. Now, Simon Pegg is giving an update on Star Trek 4. Speaking to Hey You Guys, Pegg said, quote, "As far as I know, we are pushing ahead. We are in prep, I think, for it, but then there's so much to do before we start shooting, like making sure everybody is available. According to recent reports, Paramount Pictures is looking to begin shooting on the next Star Trek movie in January, and is considering London and Atlanta as possible filming locations. The production is rumored to be looking at Black Panther and Walking Dead star Danai Gurira for one of the 2 new female characters for the film. And on the heels of the James T. Kirk bourbon, we got the announcement of a new liquor from the Silver Screen Bottling Company, 10 Forward Vodka. Named after the famous lounge on the Enterprise D, the bottle was designed by Star Trek's graphics designer Michael Okuda. A small batch of the vodka will be sent into the upper atmosphere. Afterwards, it will be retrieved and then combined with a larger batch to ensure, quote, that a portion of every bottle will contain vodka from space. The liquor is currently on pre-order for $30 per bottle and will launch in September. A new DLC pack for the VR game Star Trek Bridge Crew will take players to the next generation. The expansion is now available on PC for VR players with HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality support. The DLC was previously released for PlayStation VR and PlayStation 4 for non-VR players. The expansion is playable cross-platform across all devices and is priced at $14.99. Now, earlier in the show, I told you about the Star Trek shorts that will precede Season 2 of Discovery. We now have word on one of these episodes. Calypso will be written by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Michael Chabon. He posted the following on Instagram, quote, a few weeks ago, I flew to Toronto to be on the set of #Star Trek Discovery for the 3-day shoot of a short film I wrote, one of 4 making up a new spin-off microseries called Short Treks. Mine's entitled Calypso. It stars the blazingly talented Aldous Hodge and was directed by the brilliant Olatunde Osunanimia. And while all of that is very exciting, the most exciting part of all, personally, was the moment you see here. In this photo, I did not say, ahead warp factor 4, Mr. Sugulu, or make it so, because, after all, I was aboard the Discovery, not the Enterprise. But I thought both of those things, I thought them very hard, unquote. The shorts will arrive in December. Spock actor Zachary Quinto recently spoke to USA Today about his future with the franchise. He spoke about Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek project, quote, we're waiting on specifics. I'm thrilled that we might have the opportunity to work with Tarantino and see what he would do with us in this universe. It's going to be an R-rated version of Star Trek, which would be the first in the movies, and that's exciting. I've been a fan of his for years, and I'm really inspired by his originality. Take that originality and mix it with this world full of incredible ideology and colorful characters, and the result could be pretty thrilling. Quinto also hinted that Tarantino's Star Trek film will be the last he plays the role of Spock. The only move on the move has been a script written by Mark L. Smith. No word on if Tarantino will be able to direct or any other details have become available yet. And if Tarantino happens to make the most Star Trek film ever, I'll be shocked. And very happy. Now let's take a look at some Star Trek news. Earlier, we told you about James Gunn being fired after right-wing agitator brought up some old insensitive jokes Gunn made on Twitter. Since then, we have also learned that Rian Johnson, the director of Episode 9, has deleted more than 20,000 tweets in an effort to keep them from being used against him in a similar way. Rian isn't the only Star Wars social media casualty as of late. Disney Ridley left Twitter after being called a hypocrite for wishing for gun control while starring in a film series involving violence, and Kelly Marie Tran deleted her social media channels after being subjected to racist and sexist comments about her character Rose from The Last Jedi. Now, we have also learned that actress Selma Blair has also left Twitter to show support for Mr. Gunn. And as I said, we'll keep you updated as more develops. Original Chewbacca actor Peter Mayhew took to Twitter recently to tell fans that he recently underwent back surgery to improve his mobility. The 7'2" actor has had limited mobility in recent years and even has had to hand off most of the role of Chewie to Joonas Suotamo for The Last Jedi and entirely in Solo, a Star Wars story. Here's hoping to see Mr. Mayhew moving more comfortably soon. He is a very nice man. Now, last month we learned that Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmad Best almost committed suicide over the backlash over the large, funny, talking Star Wars character. Now Simon Pegg, who plays Scotty in the Kelvin Timeline movies and who has also openly mocked Jar Jar in the past, admits he feels guilty for his part in the negativity. In a recent interview with Now This, Pegg told them, quote, I feel so ashamed of the fact that there was actually a victim, a human victim in that. I think most people were regarding Jar Jar Binks like he was a real creature and wailing on him for being annoying or whatever or not liking him. But there was a person behind that, and I read that and just thought, Christ, I'm one of those people. It makes me feel awful. Unquote. He also acknowledged that the toxicity within fandoms that has become problematic in the digital age, specifically noting Kelly Marie Tran's fleeing from social media. Quote, there's no diplomacy in that. There's no empathy. We're becoming very, very insular as human beings. We're becoming very self-driven, selfish. Our opinions, our needs, our wants. I feel sorry for Kelly Marie Tran because she was just in a film. An effing film. That's all it was. That's all it is. None of it matters. None of it. I think it would be very nice if everyone just got on, and stopped being so aggressive. Unquote. I couldn't agree more with you, Simon. Good on ya. Well, it was bound to happen. Wherever J.J. Abrams goes, it's only a matter of time before Greg Grunberg is bound to appear. Now, we've gotten a hint from the actor, quote, you know what? We'd better return or else my wife is going to kill me for growing a beard, Grunberg said, referring to the facial hair he grew for Star Wars The Force Awakens. I can't officially say anything, but this is getting itchy, and I'm getting itchy to go over there and do it, unquote. So I'd put good odds on Snap Wexley appearing in Episode 9, which comes to theaters on December 20th, 2019. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, was the first film in the long-running franchise not to have an opening crawl. Originally, though, it did. Writer Gary Whitta has now revealed that he did write one for the standalone movie, writing on Twitter, quote, I did write a crawl, and I remember thinking it was neat that it was the same number of words as the one in A New Hope, Whitta wrote. This was before the correct decision not to have an opening crawl for the standalones. I would just love to see what that opening crawl said. Now, let's hold on for a message. So, Comic-Con International is over. What's next? Wizard World has a convention coming up every month. Wizard World guests this year will include, across the U.S., the Winter Soldier Sebastian Stan, Jason Aquaman Momoa, Ray Cyborg Fisher, and Ezra the Flash Miller in the Justice League movie, Dave Bautista and Pom Klementieff from Guardians of the Galaxy, Natalie Dormer and Sean Bean from Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings actors Billy Boyd and Sean Astin, fan favorites like Michael Rosenbaum, Charisma Carpenter, Henry Winkler, and many more. Use our coupon code Multiverse at checkout for 20% off the cost of your tickets. The next show is Chicago, August 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets today. That's good, aren't I? Now, we have some good news. We now have an official cast list for Episode 9. It includes a little surprise. Returning cast members include Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Lupita Nyong'o, Domhnall Gleeson, Kelly Marie Tran, Juno Suotomo, and Billy Lord. Joining the cast are Naomi Ackie, Richard E. Grant, and Kerry Russell, who will be joined by veteran Star Wars actors Mark Hamill, Anthony Daniels, and Billy D. Williams, who will reprise his role as Lando Calrissian. think it just crashed OBS.